Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Guy REI. In this episode of Work Van Confessions, I'm going to be talking about a subject that might be a little controversial, and I hope it doesn't get me kicked out of the community. But if you know me, you know that I like to tell it like it is. And so I was watching something earlier today and I never thought it would happen, but the thought crossed my mind that I didn't agree with something Zuber was saying. And I felt like I needed to talk about it. And you guys can definitely give me your opinions on the subject. But I'll get to that point in a minute. But I wanted also to chat about a video he did a few hours ago, and somebody had asked him his thoughts on his ORAAT community versus Bigger Pockets. And it just got me thinking, and so I wanted to share my thoughts on that and my opinion on a few different ideas there. The first idea is that I think if Bigger Pockets and One Rental at a Time were closer in size, I believe that I've seen more people being helped in the One Rental at a Time community than I see on Bigger Pockets. Zuber and his guests make themselves available regularly to us, and that just speeds up our learning process. I'll always be thankful for Bigger Pockets, because if you've heard any of my story, it was Bigger Pockets that got me started on our second real estate investing journey. And the education started back in 2019, and then I found Zuber shortly after that. But I belong in both communities. I've been involved on both platforms since the beginning, but I also think that one of the other comments made was that Bigger Pockets is more commercialized, and they have, well, I guess what you might call clickbait thumbnails and things like that. And in the beginning, I used to watch everything they put out because I didn't know anything. But as our education has progressed, I find myself being a lot more selective of what I watch, especially coming from them. I don't want to watch a video about some 12-year-old that bought their first rental and retired. There's no value there. But I find a lot more value, especially now in the school community, because there are a lot more, there are becoming more topics, more groups specializing in different categories that I think are going to be super helpful. So someone can pick what they're interested in and dive in. That's going to be really, really helpful. I think just the community, everybody in the group is so helpful and wants just to help everyone else. There are nobody in the group that thinks they're better than the next person. Everybody just wants to pull the next person up with them, and you don't see that a lot out in the real world. So that's been a really nice part of belonging in the group. And so I think one of the other thoughts I had is that since the beginning, Zuber and his millionaires have always told us the truth. They let us know it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from the beginning, and that's very helpful because it helps us prepare for some of the things that may arise. it helps us make better decisions too on whatever we're buying, to buy better deals and nicer properties. And unless you're going to try to do a rehab and build in some equity or something like that. But he's also always giving us a world view economically. And at first it was a little bit hard to follow, but over time, now that we're starting to understand the concepts that he discusses, it's even helped us make better financial decisions for ourselves. And he's always been, the one rental at a time guy. Get one and then get to four. I understand what he means by the power of just having four when you retire. If they're paid off, that would be super awesome. But and you have so many more choices at that point in your life once you let time do its thing. A lot of us, and me included, I wanted to make as much progress as quickly as possible, and those decisions typically come back to haunt you in one way or another. But I think getting to the point where I have to disagree with Zuber, he humbly stated that he didn't see ORAAT at the same level as Bigger Pockets, and I know size-wise they're not, but and that's where I disagree, because I think ORAAT belongs in the conversation, and we can compare the two communities, and if they were both the same size, I think from what I've seen, more people are being helped through the ORAAT community than Bigger Pockets. If they both had the same amount of members or and things like that, I think the ratio would be closer to what I'm seeing. More benefit on the one rental at a time. And like he has said in other videos, and we've seen it for ourselves, but Bigger Pockets blew up and lost their way, it looked like, and now they're coming back down to, they're saying the same thing, just get to 5, and that could make a huge difference in your life. So again, I don't always disagree with, I very rarely disagree with anything Zuber has to say, but I do disagree with that point. I think ORAAT belongs just right alongside Bigger Pockets. So I hope I still have a place in the group. Thanks for watching.